good day to have him grab 4.
Yeah, I think having a day off tomorrow, and then also, we need to win. It's important to get a win, and when we can get a win, we got to get one. So having the appropriate time off after 1+ is kind of what we're looking for, and so at this point in the season with all the off days in April, it made a little bit more sense today that we could do that.
In regards to Pivetta, how important was it for him personally to be able to bounce back after that opening day start, and also just to kind of give your team a bit of a reset?
Yeah, exactly. That's the Nick we all know, and what we saw from him last year. So, I know after that opening day starts, a long 5 days in between his next one, but he put his head down and went to work, flushed it, and mentally came out there and competed really well today.
You guys ended up pouring on, but first inning, Jackson, some pretty good base running there. What did you see on it? What did that do for you?
Yeah, that's just, any way we can scratch across a run when the offense is struggling a little bit to put runs on the board works really well. We got him moving, started the runner, and then, Manny put the ball in play, and, they weren't able to secure the ball at first base, and Jackson made a great play, great read getting it home. So he can provide that energy. He slides in, jumps around, got that youthful energy. That's the word I'm looking for. Youthful energy that's contagious and kind of helps us get going.
Is this the product of your brilliant lineup changes today?
I got to give credit to Randy Knorr. This was his lineup. I said, I'm tired. I'm not working really well on this. And he goes, Gregor, that's good because I had one already written up for you. So we're riding with Randy right now.
You still sign off on it though, and Ramon in 5 spot.
Yeah, we switched a couple around, but for the most part, it was his idea.
What have you thought about Ramon's start, and could we see him kind of in that higher spot in the lineup like we saw today?
Yeah, you kind of talked what our debate was too, of where we wanted to hit him in the lineup, and definitely could be up higher in the lineup the way he's swinging the bat right now, and our hottest hitter, and coming up behind Manny, that big 2-run homer there in the 8th was a huge hit, and his just energy, overall good at bats are just good for our team, and could definitely warrant an opportunity, higher up in the lineup.
I think you'll take the win anyway, get to tack on those runs and to put up 7 and to put a 4 spot onto the bullpen there. How big could that be going forward, knowing kind of what your offense is capable of?
Yeah, that's nice. It just makes it a lot easier to breathe in the 9th inning, and we got a little bit of a cushion. I think the biggest decision was leaving Mason in the game for that 9th inning to get the save or to have somebody else close it out. But just being able to tack on and continue to add runs. Scored in the 1st, and I think we scored in the 5th and the 6th, and then the 8th. So that's how you win ball games, is continually to put pressure on the other team and then getting a couple of scratch across.
Was that 1 or 2 more than the limited Mason?
Yeah, probably. We were probably saying 1 more, just because it was such a long time and the pitcher injury and bringing in a new guy. But that quick double play kind of ended that discussion.
Do you feel like you and Randy found something with this time today? Like how much more experimenting do you foresee in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, I mean, what did you say? 1/30th out of the way? There's probably be a lot.
1/32.
1/32. So we got 30 seconds left. So I doubt that we'll have one lineup for the rest of the season. Guys will get hot, guys will get cold, and we've got to adjust accordingly.
What about specifically the leadoff spot? Do you feel like that's where you're still going to be unclear for a while? Still going to experiment quite a bit there?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Tatis is the easy one to put there. That's just the easy one. And we experimented a little bit early if not having him in the leadoff spot. Will he be there the entire year? We'll see, but he'll be there a lot of the year. That's just kind of how the plan was going in. And today against a righty, it was the first time he batted leadoff. Looked pretty good. Like Jackson in the 3-hole, we liked what that looked like. So, slowly but surely putting it together the way we wanted.
Was that Randy? Fernando at the top?
Yeah, and I think a little bit of all of us kind of like, all right, how do we get this thing jump-started a little bit,
Is that, I mean, you saw the return of Nick, some guys getting it going though. Is that what you really take away from today, like that can carry forward? Yeah,
I think today was an example of what we could be, the type of team that we, expected and have. Expected in spring training, what we saw in spring training a lot, and then they were able to play a little bit looser today and have some fun, and it's a lot easier when you get a starting pitcher that goes 5 shutout. Put your team in a good position, gives our offense a little bit of chance to breathe and don't feel like they have to get hit every single bat.
What is the value of a win like this after a homestand that was definitely points and now going on the road?
Yeah, it's always good to end on a win. It's always good to have a happy flight. Sets us up for a nice road trip going to Fenway Park and going to home opener in Boston, and then finish it up with Pittsburgh, then get back home to some home cooking. So we're going to play better here at Petco. That's what we've done in the past, and we're going to continue to do it. This was probably an outlier week for us.
What did you think of the crowd? You had 6 straight sellouts to start the season.
Yeah, it's sometimes you take it for granted. It's what we come to expect, but this fan base is pretty awesome. And they are a home field advantage for us. When we get cooking like we were, the guys are running the bases and the other team's throwing the ball away. You can definitely feel that energy and feel that support behind us.
Spring training is one thing, but what have you kind of learned about yourself as a new manager these first few 6 games?
I think the biggest thing is just learn to be yourself. And Randy keeps, telling me, don't do it, don't second guess yourself, don't do it. That's what keeps telling me, don't do it. And, I found some things that helped me move on from certain decisions that maybe could have went a different way. You can always play the second guessing game. I'm second guessing myself probably more than anybody, but I think that's a healthy, and it helps me learn, and then helps us make us better as we go.
Thanks, Craig.